You can feel the chaos. Yeah, it's like in the title or something. Wild. We are doing Chaos Head. Should I change costume? I'll leave it off for now, since I don't really know what that does. Alright, I guess without further ado, let's get into this. I don't really know anything about it other than it's, like, literally the beginning of the, like, science adventure series. So... oh boy, automatic quick save. Oh. Eyes were above me. Okay, well, that was fast. Okay. Oof. Maybe hide the chat box. Oh my god, you're so smart. I forgot to do that. I normally have it off. I'm silly. Thank you. Ain't a stream without scuff. Anyways. Eyes are above me, their gaze pouring down like rain. Those eyes were always watching me. Their gaze passed through the thick black rain clouds and came down on me like rain. Don't look at me. More than the rain's chill, the cold of the rubble beneath my back made my body shiver endlessly. It's so cold. And the gaze that bored into me from above the sky, whose it was, I don't know. I lifted my head a little and looked around, seeking a way to escape it. I saw the shattered remains of a city. I saw despair. I saw death. I saw nothing. Yes. Nobody was there. Nobody was moving. Nobody was alive. That's nice. All I heard was the unending sound of falling rain. Was the rain going to keep falling? Until it washed away everything, the living and the dead? Until it had gently submerged everything and swept it away? A part of me hoped this was all just a simple delusion, but I guess I wasn't so lucky. My body refused to move. The only things I could move were my head and my eyes, and just barely at that. My body was shaking, but that was just an involuntary reflex. It wasn't my will. I didn't want my body to shake. If my body wouldn't listen to me, then I wasn't really my body at all. Maybe it never listened to me in the first place. Nobody knows where the soul is really kept after all. So, who could be sure that my soul was really inside this body? But if that was the case, then where was I? Was I here? Was I nowhere? In this broken world where nothing moved, I suddenly heard a sound that wasn't the rain of death. A single someone came from the nothingness. Who are you? Do you look so pale because you're cold? Or because you're dead? But she wasn't shivering, and her eyes, which were hidden almost completely beneath her bangs, don't look at me. They looked so sad, but they also seemed filled with badness. They seemed like they weren't saying anything at all. If maybe. The only things in this world were her and me. And we kept looking at one another like this forever. Would my world be only what was reflected in her eyes? And would her world be only what was reflected in my eyes? In her eyes. It was reflected in my eyes. She was reflected. When I thought about it that way, my world suddenly seemed so much smaller. Suddenly, I heard static that sounded so pretty. Her head fell forward, and she spread out her hands, as if she was about to take flight toward those rain clouds, or as if she were trying to take all the rain into her hands. A delusion that stares at you. With her head bent forward, I couldn't see the look on her face from where I lay. What do you look like behind the veil of rain between us? I'll give you your rest now. An angel? Are those wings of light a blessing upon me? Or... oh, now I see. I understand. You're going to use that to kill me, aren't you? Slowly, she dropped to her knees in front of me. She was still bent forward. She embraced my head gently. I felt relieved that she wasn't looking at me, and let her take me to her arms. She whispered in my ear, the pretty static, but I couldn't make out what she was saying. I felt something warm, soft, gentle, and sweet. It was like a drug. Strangely, I felt my body's shaking slow, then stop. The faint sensation of her breathing tickled my cheeks. I smelled something so very sweet. Suddenly, I felt a pressure on my chest. The huge sword in her hands tore through the skin of my chest, ripped through the meat behind it, slid between the bones, and sank through my body. And sinking through my body. But her kiss was like a drug, and I felt no pain. And she was going to kill me in such a gentle way. Suddenly I felt sad, like my tears were going to start overflowing, and to stop myself, I looked over her shoulder, and the dull gray rainy sky. Was the sky so blurry because of the rain, or because of my tears? I didn't feel the gaze anymore. The gaze. There was nothing left as I fell into unconsciousness. I reached my hand up toward the sky. Someone, tell me, where did that sky of ours go? Welp, okay, that's a strong start. That's nice. This won't be in the YouTube video though, because it's definitely going to be copyrighted. Yeah, that was the prologue. There's so much for the prologue being its own episode. You can't see it, guys. You can't see you, but you can't see it. It's weird. Oh, it can see you. You can't see it. I can read so good. For as long as I could remember, I'd often felt a gaze staring at me from somewhere. I would turn around and nobody would be there, but I'd be sure somebody was looking at me. I could feel the sensation, like something crawling on my neck. And was I just too self-conscious? Did I have some kind of phobia about being looked at? You'll be real with you. You were expecting Steins Gate to get one-upped by the previous game in terms of what the fuck just happened in Joe's. Yeah. Up until elementary school, I honestly believed that it was God. God is watching me, I would say. I wrote an essay about something like that. And of course, looking back, I realized how silly it was. It was the biggest chuny dork. I was the biggest chuny dork. If somebody were to ever read that essay, I'd be so embarrassed. I'd never leave my house again. I still remember the thing's title. Whose eyes are those? The back of the chair I was resting in made a creaking sound, like the voice of an old woman. Don't look at me. I whispered those words as I looked at the ceiling, feeling sick and annoyed. Of course no one responded. This is my room. I lived alone. Nobody was here but me. Just for the hell of it, I turned around. This 3D environment is making me really uncomfortable. Anyways, the room was longer than it was wide, and it was a little dark. The only light in the room came from my computer's desk light. There were no windows, so of course it was dark. Since I had no way of looking outside, I had no way of knowing if it was night or day. I turned toward a corner of the dark room and spoke to no one in particular. My name is Takumi Nichijo. I'm 17 years old. I'm a second-year student in Suimei Academy. I barely ever go to school, though. That's nice. Well, I guess I'm pretty smart, at least. I always show up to take my tests, and I usually get above average grades. Yeah, I'm pretty smart. And of course, nothing happened when I said this. Nobody appeared out of the darkness. The dark space just existed, silently. But darkness stimulates the mind. It makes it see delusions. Not being able to see whatever's there made it an unknown. You know in your head what's impossible, but somewhere inside your heart, you imagine terrible things lurking within the darkness. Jeez. Whenever a scary delusion popped up into my head, my mind always ran away with it. I kept talking to try and shake it out of my mind. Right now, I live alone, away from home. I mean, in Shibuya. Oh, Shibuya. I live on the top of Kurenai building, which my dad's real estate company owns. And they rent me a really cheap little house here made out of a shipping container. A shipping container? I mean, it could be worse, I guess. Living in the city sucks. The part of Shibuya I live in, Shinsansho, has lots of little hills that tire you out when you're walking. There are a bunch of love hotels right next to where I live, too. I really wish I lived in Akihabara. Yeah, Shibuya's a total shithole. It's as bad as Dean's Valley in ESO. ESO was the MMORPG that had made my life's work. In short for Empire Super Online. I spent almost all day and almost all night playing the game, passing my time in the world of Baselord. Baselord, I don't know. Dean's Valley is an area in ESO with a lot of really aggravating monsters in it. They use all kinds of obnoxious status ailment attacks, but they don't even drop decent items. Anybody who grinds there is an idiot. Good players give up on it quickly and head to the next area, the Forest of Lady 8. There's too many ways to possibly read these words. And obviously I'm a good player. So yeah, this town, with its DQNs and love capitalists, needs to be blasted off the face of the earth. Elite? Maybe. This room, though, isn't so bad. My computer and my internet connection are both first rate. That's good. For a student, I guess it's pretty good base of operations. No, that's why I call this room the base. And of course, nothing in the room moved except for me. Talking to myself was starting to make me feel like an idiot, so I decided to stop introducing myself to whoever was watching me. This place is freaking filthy, though. Yeah, you only have yourself to blame, though, dude. It smelled moldy. The air was so stale and damp you could feel it on your skin. Buddy. Also, good question. How does he have money for all those anime figures? The world may never know. The floor was piled high with empty plastic drink bottles and trays left over from convenience store lunches. The bed was stacked high with age games. I always ended up having to sleep up on the sofa. That's nice. Clean your room, you filthy sicko. Why did you make this mess anyway? I guess it was me. He is insane for real. Noted. My creepy laugh kind of annoyed me, so I kicked the plastic bottle at my feet. It flew up almost high enough to hit my figure shelf. I screamed and leaned forward, using my own body to block it. I've got almost 100 wives, big sisters, and daughters, and I can't let them get hurt. They keep me going, so they're very important to me. I cleaned and organized the shelf once a week. It was the only cleaning I did. Every day, I tried to find new angels and positions to make them look cuter. I didn't want my beloved daughters and sisters getting dusty, so I always made sure to clean them. Clean the figures, but not the rest of the place. Got it. I breathed a sigh of relief and tossed the bottle into a corner, and then faced back toward my PC. The PC sat in the far corner of my room. Next to the monitor was a figure from my favorite anime, BT, or Bloodtoon the Animation, Seiratan, 1/8 scale pre-awakening version. You're actually kind of impressed that they're not all his wives. Yeah, that's fair. She smiled at me while posing cutely. Seira, you're so cute, Seira. I whispered as Seiratan and I stared into each other's eyes for a minute. Then I gulped down the bottle of soda next to the computer. It was lukewarm, but that didn't bother me. Now then, it's time for some ESO. I sank down into the chair and put my hands on the keyboard. Just the act of sitting at the computer was enough to calm me. My ESO character, Nightheart, very creative, was a paladin, already on his second reincarnation. He was level 50, the max of course. He was also the highest ranked player on any active server. Almost every player knew the name Lightning Fast Nightheart. And they all treated me like a god. Rare weapons, rare armor, rare magic. I had it all. I had 95% of all the rare items in the game. Not as many as I wanted, honestly. And I had more money points than I could ever use in a lifetime. RMT, or real money trading, was how I made money to use in the real world. Well, that answers all those questions. I had enough money to survive for 6 months without having to get a part-time job. That's kind of insane. I was a master of the chat tool. I used it for almost all my communication. I'd even saved life on @chan, a huge message board once, and I was always there whenever a festival was going down. No, right. And I had way more than 100 friends on Free Para. That's the social network I can reach so good. Respect, trust, it was all right here. I didn't go to school. It wasn't that I didn't want to go, just there was no point. I did all my studying on the internet, and obviously, you can do that at home. Of course, you need to attend a certain number of classes to graduate, so I went just enough to get the bare minimum passing grade. This is the smartest way for a student to live. I'm not sure I agree with that one, buddy, but you do you. My parents were pretty obnoxious about this stuff. So, I made myself a schedule for when I did go to school. According to the sheet, all I had to do was go to school 2.5 times a week. The people who went every day called me a creepy otaku, but if you asked me, I'd tell you that they were just morons for just going because someone told them they should. Anyway, my life's here not that bad. You know, he's a bad student, but that's okay, I guess. No crap, I got so distracted by that gaze, I forgot I was talking to Grim. Name Nightheart. Grim, what's wrong? You're not responding. Did you fall asleep? Hey, Nightheart. Grim was the screen name of a guy I always partied up with in ESO. I never met him in real life, but we talked all the time online. He brought me a lot of valuable information. He was like my own personal informant, you could say. I sat down and began to type at the keyboard. Oh, I see. It's from the bottom up. There's a read order, okay. Sorry, I didn't fall asleep, but I kinda spaced out, lol. You must be really tired. You not sleeping enough? Doing hentai stuff with your GF, lol. All day, all night. I'm not into 3D girls. Of course you're not. Gub and I would talk about all kinds of things. Since I couldn't see his face, it was easy to tell him anything. And of course, in the real world, that's not how it would go. So you're a 2D man then? H games? You're really in a hentai mood tonight, huh? You always have really perverted illusions though, right? You used to always talk about them. You really were into them. Something about doing naughty things to the girl in a school swimsuit. I mean, MC is like a weird combo of Rintaro and Daru. Yeah, I see it, unfortunately. Was I? I don't really remember. Anyway. And that's what you want to talk about. Let's discuss something near to my heart. School swimsuit and glasses. Oh boy. Huh? Yes or no? This is not the type of gameplay I'm expecting. Just gonna, yeah. I wanna go with no. Competition swimsuits are better than school swimsuits. Sure, yes. The swim cap is a must? No. obviously, okay, let's see. Anyway, if that's something you want to talk about, let's discuss something near to my heart. Classes? Who needs classes? Actually, I prefer competition swimsuits. Swim caps are an absolute no-go. Not a chance in hell. Oh, come on, man. You're like swimsuits, huh? That's weird. What man doesn't? I mean, really. Hi. It's not about just showing skin, you know? Huh. Yeah, I guess it influences messages. I don't know what that means for the rest of the game, though. A fully dressed girl with no panties is sexier than Pandora, right? It's the same deal. I mean, I'm okay with either. I am... What? Are you telling me you don't understand how hot no panties stuff is? Like, my girl's totally naked? You know what? That's valid, I guess. I don't know. I don't like being part of this conversation. You don't understand Moe at all. A complete and utter perv. That's her knight's heart. We fear him, but we love him, lol. Oh boy. Calm down, man. I mean, maybe I did get a little excited. I tried to be the cool, silent type. Cool, lol. Don't laugh. Anyway, what were we talking about before I fell asleep? I mean, I'm sure it was ESO stuff. You forgot? Come on, man. We're talking about the murders in the 3D world. The murders in the 3D world? That's nice. What was he talking about? Shogun has entered the room. Hello, Shogun. Sup? I said, but Shogun didn't reply. Was this asshole ignoring me? I was trying to be friendly here. Didn't he know who I was? I was lightning fast. Nightheart, damn it. This is supposed to be a no-lurker channel anyway. Well, whatever. I decided to ignore him. That's the nice thing about the internet. You don't have to care about other people unless you want to. So, what were you talking about, Grim? The murders. I don't care about anything 3D. It's probably something stupid anyway, right? Yeah, I guess. But pretty shocking still. Shocking. Some kind of grisly serial killers or something? A lot of bad stuff had been happening lately. More Grudo pictures? Oh right, you can't handle Grudo, lol. I mean, I can handle it. No, I actually didn't want to see any of that stuff. But there were a lot of fakes and altered images going around lately, and trolls love to set all kinds of traps. You ended up seeing a lot of the stuff whether you wanted to or not. But, well, I guess I'm starting to get used to it. You think you're the strongest paladin in Base Lord. I don't PK, though. PK meant player killing. It's when you attack a stranger and steal their equipment or money points. Only Dokyuns did that. Dokyuns were thugs and losers. The lowest form of life. Chew. I'm no chew. I don't do things that would make other people upset. I never violate ESO's rules. That's my policy. I did a shit ton of RMT, though. Chew, you just thought of fair chew from Neptune, that's fair. He does go chew a lot. But as a sound. Yeah, you're the hero we all love and adore, lol. Mochitsuke. Mochitsuke. I can read so good. New generation. You know all about it, right? Question marks? New generation? What the hell was that? It wasn't something I already knew about, right? Grim's made to act like I was supposed to know about it. And what's new gen? The new generation madness. They call it new gen online for short. It's the weird serial murders going on in Shibuya right now. It's all happening right near your house, lol. Oh, right. It was coming back to me. But I only knew the basic outline, and I hadn't really looked into it. I searched for New Gen and got a hit immediately. Let me see. The 2 incidents that have taken place in Shibuya over the past month are referred to as New Gen. There's 7 victims in total, including an unborn baby. That's nice. The first was a group of 5 friends who jumped off a skyscraper together. That's nice. The second was an unborn baby found in a man's stomach. That's impressive. Not for any good reason, but that is definitely impressive. Wait, seriously? I felt a cold chill run down my spine. I found myself turning around again and glancing around the dark room. Taboo. Yeah, news had a lot of old articles about New Gen, so I quickly skimmed them. Supposedly the whole internet was talking about it, calling it the new generation madness. There were 2 incidents. One was a murder case that was so brutal that some TV stations weren't even willing to have their anchors describe it. And the first one, the group could dive off of a skyscraper. There were rumors that it might have been a murder too. Does it count as gore still if it looks like someone spit a cauldron of spaghetti sauce? Probably. The parents and friends of the deceased all said they weren't the type to commit suicide. There were no sign of a motive, and from a lot of other pieces of circumstantial evidence, it was supposedly impossible to believe that they were about to kill themselves. I took a quick look. Well, starting to shake and shiver. Not really. Don't care. Here, look at this. I like that. I wonder if that link is real. If I type that into my browser, will that actually show me something? I'm gonna find out. To my phone. This might be a bad idea if it does actually work, given that Guro is literally in the... Yeah, it's Guro Daisuke. Love Guro. But I am curious. Let's find out. It's very possible that the game will just show us what it is anyways, but I have to see if it's real. We know that the developers are very committed to the bit when it comes to this kind of stuff, so let's find out. Well, it's definitely something. What is it? A picture of the corpse. Chris enjoying making fun of me, huh? Please look at it, sir. He did this stuff sometimes. But if I let him get me, I'd lose my reputation as Nightheart. No matter what I was in the real... Yeah, no matter what I was in the real world, in ESO I was a god, the strongest. I knew everything. I was stronger than everybody. I was a knight fighting for justice. Nobody was gonna make fun of me. I worked on my courage and clicked on the URL. Okay, cool. He's gonna look at it. Yeah. See? What the hell was this picture? Lol, you got me. Who drew this? Notsu? I whipped it up in 2 minutes just now. You're our generation's Picasso. Anyway, that was fun. Now I'm gonna sleep. Night. See you tomorrow in Base Laird. Alright, the Shogun guy was still here. I'd totally forgotten about him. Not that he mattered. I wasn't feeling that tired, so I decided to do some grinding in ESO. Oh, wait. Today was the day Bloodtoon aired. I didn't have a TV in my room. All I needed was a PC. Just 15 more minutes till it starts, so I guess I'll go to the bathroom first. I looked at the figure of Saratown next to my monitor and grinned. I was gonna get to see her today. I couldn't wait. Just like want to close the chat window, though.
あれ
Huh? Oh boy, another link. And now I must see this first. I don't know. I could be patient and wait, but like, you know, why wait? Where's the fun in that? Gazoop. Oh, there's 2 U's. Gazoop.com. Says BBS/images. I get a feeling that this one isn't going to be so innocent and kind, but that's okay. No, it's not a real link. That makes me sad. Well, Shogun had typed something.
なんだ
Ooh,
よこ
why
い
is
つ
he
急に
talking all of a sudden? I thought he was a lurker chew from the file type. Looked like a link to an image, but someone I didn't know and someone who never even talked to me was suddenly sending me a link. I gulped without even realizing I'd done so. I didn't know why, but I felt a terrible premonition. One, I had never felt with any interaction online before. Of course I didn't want to click it. Click it, click it, click it. I glanced over at the clock. There were only 12 minutes left until my date with Serotan. I need to wrap this up fast. What the heck kind of Kome's trap is this, lol? The world changes if you click it? That's nice. Lol, what? I tried to like he wasn't scaring me. Honestly, I didn't even want to talk to this guy. He was making me nervous. I could feel myself sweating. Was this Shogun guy even Japanese? If he wasn't, there'd be no way I could talk to him. Sorry for scaring you. Huh? He was talking normally. I felt a little relieved. Nah, it's cool, man. Where were you lurking? Did somebody tell you to lurk for 6 months before you could type? I was thinking. Where are you from? For some reason, there was a strange pause. Shibuya. Thoughts. The articles I just read about the new generation incidents came racing back into my mind. Just envisioning them in my mind was bad enough. If I'd seen them in reality, I don't think I could have handled it. The man's stomach ripped open, the body of an unborn baby stuffed inside. And when those 5 friends jumped off a building, they were probably just chunks of meat after they landed. Just imagining it made me want to vomit. I quickly shook my head to get the images out of my mind. This Shogun guy was just so shady. It was making me delusional when I didn't need to be. I wish he would just go away. I'm from Shibuya too. A lot of weird stuff's happening here lately, huh? It's not over. That's nice. Shibuya. Shake and shiver. What the heck? A math equation. Is this Shogun guy just crazy? I'm really smart and I've never seen that formula before. I decided to run a search for it. At times like these, it was great to have access to an internet connection. Huh? I'm not getting any hits. Was this guy just trying to pretend to be smart and writing out some nonsense formula? It didn't make any sense. This formula has murdered the possibilities of the world. Huh? I have no idea what that means. Anyway, what was that link? Am I actually supposed to click on it? Lol. I thought you might be interested. Oh, there it goes. Gazoop. Oh, there's a lot of images. These are all different ones. Damn. It's gonna keep going, huh? Thoughts. I typed in several URLs at blinding speed. What was this guy's deal? Was he just entering himself by trying to scare me? Was he a buddy of Grimm's and they were having fun with me? I felt the gaze again and looked around the room, but of course there was nothing there but a filthy dark room, the same as always. I felt a strange sense of terror, feeling like you were constantly being watched to kept you from ever truly relaxing.
僕を見るな。
Don't look at me. When I said the words, I could tell my voice was shaking. My old filthy room felt like something completely different now. They say that sometimes after you watch a horror movie or TV show, or hear a friend tell you a scary story, even a place you know well, like your own house, will start to seem strange and terrifying. You'll be too scared to even go to the bathroom alone at night. Right now, I was experiencing something just like that.
くそ。
I'm
釣られた
not
りする
letting
もん
you
か。
trick me. Shaking, I leaned toward the monitor and I suddenly felt my right hand index finger tense up as I clicked one of Shogun's links.
ちょ。
Hey, no. To be honest, I had no idea why I'd done that. It wasn't like my hand moved on its own or anything like that. It was as if I'd done it without thinking. That was the only way I could describe it. It felt like exactly the wrong thing to do, but still, I found myself clicking it, as if the motion was completely natural.
なんだよこれ。
Ugh, what the hell is this? I found myself staring at what just seemed to be some kind of strange work of art. Something that looked like a porcupine or pincushion, nailed to the wall in the shape of a cross. Beneath the porcupine, or pincushion, or whatever the hell it was, there was a pool of something red and black. There were all these little piles of something. They kind of looked like garbage. What the hell was this? The world of some self-proclaimed avant-garde artist? You know, one of those guys who make up something disgusting and then say, with a completely straight face, I wanted to give expression to the chaos of this world. I'm not interested in that modern art crap, guys. It was strange, though. It wasn't really a girl image. It looked girlish, but that was as far as it went. So why? Why did it feel so real? Why did it feel like I was right there watching it happen? Could a hallucination make you smell blood so intensely that you wanted to throw up? Yes. Could a hallucination smell so strong you wanted to vomit? Also, yes. Same question that you asked there. I started to feel a pain in my temples. The urge to vomit wouldn't go away. I tried to grab the mouse, but my hands were shaking too badly. My hand slipped off the desk and ended up grabbing the thing's cord instead. I moved it up the cord and put it back on top of the mouse pad, and then closed the image. As I breathed a sigh of relief, I saw... Whose eyes are those? That's nice. I glared at the minimum necessary school schedule I created. I never got in to see Bloodtoon in real time last night. Of course, I saw it when it was upped to YouTube, so it didn't matter. But I still didn't feel any better. The last thing Shogun had said before he'd left. It was like he knew how scared I was of God's gaze. It couldn't possibly be a coincidence. I tried to think of how he might know. How my personal info got leaked? Or was this somebody from ESO who was out to get me? A godlike player like me had lots of friends, also lots of enemies. Well, most of those enemies were just haters, though. You know, guys who were just jealous of Nightheart's strength and charisma. It was best to just ignore them, I had always found. No, that wasn't what was important now. Even after I logged into ESO, I couldn't stop wondering who he was, to the point where I couldn't even concentrate on my grinding. And to make matters worse, today was...
最悪の日だ。
the worst day possible. It was, unfortunately, a day where I had to go to school. I didn't want to go, but if I didn't follow my schedule, it might come back to bite me later. It might even end up being held back.
眠いのに。
I'm so sleepy, too. I did my best to stifle a yawn as I staggered down the road to school. At my walking speed, it would take me about 10 minutes to get there. Once I started moving, I only felt worse. I felt exhausted. It was really hard to breathe, and there was an awful sweat dripping from every pore in my body. This always happened wherever I went to school. Whenever. I can read. So good. Why did I have to go to school at all? When all it was when all it meant was suffering. I mumbled to myself as I stared down at the white lines on the asphalt, but I kept going. My route took me through Shoto Park. Once I was through the park, the school was right there. As I walked by a lake, I could see an older couple out for a morning walk, and a salaryman sitting on a bench reading the sports section. For a park on the outskirts of a major downtown area like Shibuya, it was quiet. It was a perfect place to relax. I sat down on one of the benches. Every day I went to school, I'd always sit here in the morning and eat my breakfast, surrounded by leaves that were gradually beginning to change color, and watch the placid surface of the lake. Breakfast was a pastry I bought at the local convenience store. It was to keep me going until evening. I never ate lunch. Nobody wanted to eat with a creepy otaku like me, and I certainly didn't want to eat alone when everyone else was in a group. I washed down the cream-filled pastry with a can of soda and stared up at the sky. The sky above Shibuya was always kind of cloudy, and never totally clear. This was true no matter what season it was. My family's home was just a few stops away from Shibuya by train, but something made it feel like a whole different world. Oddly enough, the gray sky didn't bother me. I didn't know why, but it didn't. I looked at my watch to check the time. I needed to get going or I'd be late. Being late was the one thing I absolutely couldn't do. If I wanted to only go to school 2.5 times a week, then I needed to make sure I didn't stand out at all costs. I needed to be like the air we breathe, completely invisible. I needed to avoid the Dickians, the delinquents and thugs I hated more than anything, and teachers. I spent my day undisturbed, in peace and quiet. That was my goal for my school life. Suime Academy, that was the name of the school I attended. It wasn't a very old school. It just, it had been built within the last 10 years. I can read so good. This meant the building was clean and new. It was often used as a set for TV shows with the school theme. The uniforms had been designed by some famous designer, and a lot of the dumber girls had chosen the school specifically to wear them. It was, in theory, a college prep school, but the school's test scores were slightly above average at best. The school's rules were really strict, but they were constantly telling prospective students about how much they respected student autonomy and independence. It was pretty funny how they tried to trick you. Well, I guess the rules were really there in name only. Nobody enforced them. So maybe they weren't trying to trick you after all. After all, even somebody like me who only went to school 2.5 times a week could still graduate. By the time I arrived at the school gate, there were enough students around me that it was starting to get noisy. I don't like crowds, so I kept my head down as I walked through the gate. In my mind, I was repeating, "Please nobody talk to me," over and over. I had a sister a year younger than me who was also a student here. She would commute from home. Any day I ran into her was a disaster. Fortunately, I didn't see her today. I made it safely to my classroom. I slunk into my seat without letting my eyes meet anybody else's. For a moment, I thought that some of the girls who were chatting near me looked my way, but it was just for an instant. They quickly returned to the conversation without saying a word. I knew they were all thinking that I was a weird, creepy loser. But if you ask me, you 3D girls are way creepier than I am. If you find me creepy, just don't look at me. Just pretend I'm not here. Just do that and I'll live my life without bothering any of you. If you Dukunes decide to keep calling me creepy all the time instead, that's your problem, not mine. That's what I always say. I just can't understand it. Maybe you want attention from the people you call creepy? Is that it? I stayed in my seat, staring down quietly at the surface of my desk, trying not to move at all.
Yo, Taku.
Yeah, Daku. I don't know where somebody slapped me lightly on the back. I jerked and then looked up, annoyed. Is today one of the days you come to school? Misumi. I like Misumi already. It was Daisuke Misumi, my classmate. He was standing there with a friendly smile on his face. He was handsome, and supposedly, girls really liked him. He was also a self-proclaimed playboy, who, according to him, was always dating several girls at once. From my perspective, he was a man who completely given himself over to the Dikyun side. He wasn't somebody I wanted anything to do with, but... man, he always looked so gloomy. Up all night playing games. Didn't get enough sleep. No. He was the one person in class who always tried to talk to me. He and I had nothing in common, either in terms of personality or hobbies. For some reason, he was always trying to talk to me. It's been this way ever since we became classmates at the start of the year, and I never managed to figure it out. If I was a girl, I could understand it, but why would he want to talk to a guy? He probably might be not straight. That's just a theory, though. Also, extroverts exist, yes, but I don't think he's straight, I'll be honest. But, anyways. I mean, I know you're a hikikomori and you never leave your house, but try to speak up when you're answering somebody's question. If I could, I would. Just talking to a 3D person was suffering. I got so nervous my voice wouldn't even come out right, and since I wasn't used to talking, I would always stammer. I guess I was scared of saying something stupid and being made fun of that I hated talking to anybody. You don't understand my pain, don't tell me what to do. Oh, and I'm not a hikikomori either. A hikikomori is somebody who never leaves the room 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. That's not who I am. I can understand you getting nervous around a girl, but if you keep acting like that when I talk to you, people are going to think we're both gay. I mean, are you not? Just saying. Was he lying about dating those girls and he was actually into men? I pulled my body away from him, trying to put some distance between us. In doing so, I almost fell out of my chair, so I quickly grabbed onto my desk. What the hell are you doing? Misumi, are you gay? Huh? Of course not. Did you forget about all those girls I'm dating? I don't know, man. It's okay to come out of the closet, Misumi. Right. You scared me for a second. And what's more, Misumi looked around to see who was nearby before suddenly lowering his voice. He gave me a mischievous grin. I slept with my third girl from this class yesterday. You want to hear who it was? Okay. No, not really. Aw, come on. Act interested. It was Tanaka. That doesn't sound straight, I'll be honest. Like, I know you're just using last name, but like... Who's Tanaka? It's almost October and you don't even know the names of your classmates yet. Well, I guess if you're not into 3D women, that makes sense. He sighed and shrugged his shoulders. The one thing I could say for him was this. He never insulted my hobby, that is, my love of 2D characters. He never called me creepy, it wasn't his thing, but he never said anything about it. In that respect, maybe he wasn't maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all. Maybe that was why when he talked to me, I actually tried to talk back. That takes care of almost all the cute girls in this class. I'm thinking of moving on to the girls in the next class over. Damn, okay. Maybe he was a bad guy after all. At least, that's what the girls would think if they heard him. There's this really cute girl in Class D who almost never comes to school. And that's kind of hot, don't you think? Wait. You... Misumi? I take back liking you. No, I guess you would say it's moe, not hot, right? Don't use that word where you don't even know what it means. Anyway, I know you don't care about this stuff, so I'll stop talking about it. So, you heard about New Gen? To be honest, I was really surprised to hear that from him. I thought he was only interested in chasing skirts. You couldn't imagine him looking at a newspaper reading the news. You know what, that's fair. In that group dive, they say it was actually a murder. Huh? I mean, it was in Sports Tokyo. Wait, Sports Tokyo was his source? Who could believe a thing written in that paper I can read so good? And anyway, I already knew that. Also, I didn't care. And get this. The killer was a girl. And a hot one too, according to the witnesses. Misumi, don't tell me you want to get in her pants too. A girl. As I looked at the excitement on Misumi's face, I finally understood it. So that's what compelled him to actually pick up a newspaper. It was a girl. It only made sense, I thought to myself. Wait, did that mean he was okay with dating a murderer as long as they were cute? You're only now getting that, I could see myself going for that if it was a 2D girl, but... Misumi was looking out the window and off into the distant sky. He looked like he was on the cusp of achieving some great enlightenment. I wonder what the killer's like. Is she really hot, you think? I'd love to meet her. And this was a man who made all his decisions with his little head. I was sure of this now. She might kill other people, but she wouldn't kill me. I'm sure of that. I mean, just look at how cool I am, right? Even a serial killer would fall in love with me. Means to me really be like, I'm not like the other boys. And then she wouldn't kill him, he thought. Man, talk about an optimist. I found myself feeling scared by how confident he looked. No, I don't really care. Sure, maybe not. But you know she's probably around this somewhere, right? This town somewhere, right? You might pass by her any minute. Maybe Misumi was the killer. No, that was probably impossible. But I couldn't rule out the possibility that the killer was somebody from the school. If that turned out to be the case, maybe I could come up with something about how I got in PTSD and be able to graduate without having to go to school. Priorities, sir. Hey, want to go see the crime scene with me? It's within walking distance of the school. They say you can still see the blood. Misumi, please. I didn't feel interested in the slightest. My goal for today was to get through my classes without any trouble, go home to Seira town, and then go back inside the world where I was God. Kobashi and Hasagawa said they went already too. I mean it. I don't care. Oh dear. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh jeez. Oh fuck. Science Gate never gave me real options. He had to disappoint me when he was so excited, but I had no intention of going. Can I look at what these are before I click them? I don't want to click them. Hello? I don't know which one to pick. Yeah, okay. I opened my mouth to squeak out some excuse, but he wasn't listening. Maybe I'll run into her when we get there. You know, they say the crime returns to the scene of the crime and stuff. Criminal returns to the scene of the crime and stuff. I am so confused. Huh? I guess you've been her next target then. Atone for your sins with death like that. Your sins can be, I don't know, being hikikomori, I guess. Okay. Why the hell would I want to go see blood? It'd be way too scary. And this wasn't a haunted house or a horror movie. People were really dead and the killer was still on the loose. I didn't want to go anywhere that could be even the slightest bit dangerous. Actually, what was the new gen's killer's motive anyway? And was it just some crazy person with a few screws loose doing it for fun? That's probably the safest assumption. Not that I cared anyway. It had nothing to do with me. And by the way, I happen to be a bit of a mass murderer myself. And what's more, no matter how many I killed, everybody still called me a hero. Of course, this was in ESO, lol. Just comparing me and the killer made it clear how much better 2D is than reality. QED. I desperately tried to refuse Misumi's offer, while imagining myself delivering a flurry of violent jabs. The murderer? Oh yeah, I'll kick their butt the second I see them. In my delusions, at least, I could kill anybody and save anybody too. But anybody who actually went and did that stuff in the real world was just an idiot. They weren't thinking about what would happen next. The new gen killer, for example, was surely going to be caught before too long. They spend the next few decades in prison before finally being given the death penalty. I knew exactly what I wanted to say to them. And could have just done it in your delusions. Should have. I went to buy dinner. I took the route I always used to go to the local convenience store. From the base, it took about 3 minutes to get there. I knew the route well, with its filthy dark street. But today, it felt strange, like I wandered into another world. Everything looked the same as always, but it felt like I was coming here for the first time. And there was this odd smell, like rotting garbage. I could feel the humidity clinging to my skin. If I hadn't known better, I would have assumed it had just rained. The air felt sticky. I looked and saw something on the ground, lying on the dark road.
Huh?
Dots. At first, it looked like a plastic bag filled with garbage. I ignored it and kept walking. But when I got closer, I saw it was the dead body of a cat. Yeah, that's her. Blood, shit, and piss were coming out of its body as it lay there on the road. I quickly turned away. The disgusting sight gave me goosebumps. I turned around to leave. Another cat. There was another cat there. This one was alive. Its golden eyes were clearly visible in the darkness. They were staring at me. But what do you want? The cat quickly vanished behind a nearby object. Something about that thing gave me the creeps. I wanted to hurry to the convenience store, but I couldn't use this route. I wasn't going past that dead cat. I have to go around another way. I started walking and then I realized something. For a while now, I've been hearing a strange sound. I gulped and listened closer to hear what it was. Okay. Clean transition to something different, but, yuck. I was sitting in front of my computer monitor. I gulped down some soda and sat in my reclining chair. The delusion was just awful. It was probably because of all the disgusting things I've been hearing about since yesterday. Sometimes I have delusions like these, things I could never come up with on my own. It usually happened when I was being influenced by something going on around me. Usually they were really nasty, disgusting things. Maybe I just had too vivid of an imagination. The less I understood about something, the more likely it was to show up in my delusions. Sometimes I got so scared I'd scream. It was one thing to do that on the base, but at school, or even a net cafe like the one I was in now, that was an absolute no-no. The cafe's name was At Cafe. It was the one place I liked going. It was along Center Street in Shibuya. There were a lot of loser salarymen and DQ and 3D girls there. But you got your own personal room, so it didn't matter. The room I was in, room 37, was kind of my personal spot. It was the one furthest back in the cafe. It's like when you wanted to go get some of the free soda, but it was relatively quiet because not many people came by. I would always come here once or twice a week on my way home from school, so that I could log into ESO under a different ID. It was my way of relaxing. Night Hero was too well known, you see. I enjoyed being famous, but having to be the hero everyone looked up to all the time was stressful. That's why I like to play with a different avatar sometimes. This character was a girl. Her name was Lizelette. Lizelette didn't really have many big accomplishments to her name, though. Whenever I played as her, I made sure other characters got the glory. I worked out some stress by playing for 3 hours, just grinding, never really doing any hard content. Then I talked about dumb stuff and some naughty stuff with the rest of my guild. By the time I left the cafe, it was almost 9 p.m. Center Street at this hour was filled with decunes. They would always sit on the sidewalk like they owned the place, eating fast food and laughing at their disgusting voices. It made me want to vomit. And if you made eye contact with them, they'd get mad and attack you. They were barbarians. Okay, let me refresh my brain on decune because it keeps coming up and I'm not sure I'm saying it right. Delcune, okay. I knew I was saying it slightly wrong. No, they weren't even human. They were worse than that. They were animals. They didn't have a shred of common social decency or intelligence. I wish they would all just die. I meant it too. It was this thing I was just saying. But you know, just dealing with them was a waste of time. And I wasn't the kind of guy to waste time, so I quickly left Center Street. After leaving at cafe, I would always stop at either the nearby Manga Darake or the Anime that was just a little further away. Today I decided to go to Anime and headed for the station's south entrance. There were far fewer Dokyuns here. Really, Center Street was pure chaos. Just walking through there made it hard to breathe. If I could've, I would've rather never gone there at all. I wish they'd just tear the whole place down, leaving only at Cafe and Magnadarake. Anyway, it was time to look at some manga and doujinshi. Oh, and Bloodtoon's 5th DVD was probably about to go up for pre-order. At some point, I found myself on a narrow street in Maruyamacho. Okay. This is the route I used on my way back to the base from the Anime. I forced myself to blink several times. Then I took a look inside my bag. There were a few textbooks along with a portable game system. I hadn't bought anything at Anime today. Usually I always made sure to buy at least one thing. I sighed and started to walk. From here it was less than 15 minutes to the base. Didn't have to get that far from the station for all the lights and neon to disappear, along with most of the people. I mostly saw middle-aged couples heading for the hotels or salarymen heading to their homes nearby. It was quiet and calm. It was hard to believe that this was the same Shibuya as Center Street with its hordes of dokyuns. It was cloudy tonight and the moon was hidden. The street seemed even darker than usual.
まただ。
Again. I knew the route well, with its filthy dark street. But today it felt strange, like I'd wandered into another world. Everything looked the same as always, but it felt like I was coming here for the first time. There was this odd smell like rotting garbage. I could feel the humidity clinging to my skin. If I hadn't known better, I would have assumed it just rained. The air felt sticky.
いや、ちょっと待
No,
った。
hang on. What do I mean, again? I felt a sense of Jemai's view before. When was it? Damn it. I was getting reality and my delusions mixed up. That was what the psychologist on TV said would happen if you play too many video games. 2008, am I right? Either way, I felt like I was coming here for the first time. And that wasn't all. I felt a prickling on the back of my neck, and feeling like somebody was looking down at me. I wasn't imagining it. No matter how fast I tried to walk, the gaze kept following me. Somebody was watching me right now. Their gaze was so powerful I could physically feel it. I wanted to look back, but I decided not to. This was a game I sometimes played with myself. Whenever I heard a small sound or felt like somebody was watching me, I play the I'm not turning around that easy game. If I turned around, I lost. Usually whenever I felt the case, I had illusions about ghosts or monsters with incredibly scary faces. Yet throughout all 17 years of my life, I never turned around and actually seen something there. I kinda started to enjoy this game since I knew I was probably safe. I'd listen for a moment, then raise an eyebrow in suspicion, then I'd say a line from a manga. It wasn't that I was too scared to turn around, okay?
貴様、見てるな。
Hey, you want a piece of me?
その目誰の目？
Whose eyes are those?
なんちゃって。
Just kidding. I tried to desperately remind myself that I wasn't scared. The next thing I knew, I'd stopped walking. I could feel the tension in the air change slightly. My face was damp with sweat, and my knees were threatening to buckle. I gave in and turned around. I lost the game, but of course, there was nobody there, not even a passing car. Why did everything feel so strange all of a sudden? No. The ringing in my ears had stopped. I only noticed after the sound stopped. Until that moment, there'd been a sound like a ringing in my ears. But I hadn't been aware of it at all. Now I couldn't hear anything. It was suddenly dead silent. Far too silent for the middle of a city. It felt like any sound wouldn't be crystal clear. I closed my eyes tight to listen. I couldn't hear anything. This was weird. This was weird, right? Usually you could hear the noises of distant trains, car horns, faint noise like that. So why? Were my ears broken? I wanted to scream as loud as I could. I felt like if I didn't, I'd go crazy. But I couldn't. It was so quiet and felt like if I broke the silence, something terrible would happen. Suddenly, a single sound shattered the silent world. I looked ahead and saw many shining things lying on the dark ground. They were scattered all over the asphalt.
十字架？
Crosses? The moment I realized what they were, my legs unfrozen and began to move forward. I picked one of them up. It was metal, and its long tip was sharp like a needle. A stake? A nail? It was strangely shaped, so I'd mistaken it for a cross. I gripped the stake, dazed. I could hear it, a faint sound of some kind, echoing. A cold sound, one that would make your blood turn to ice. It would start, then stop, then start again. My legs kept moving forward. I walked on, as if drawn to the source of the sound. Was it just a desire to see something scary? Maybe I wanted somebody to save me, to rescue me by plucking me out of this world of silence. It was like something from an old German fairy tale. Which one was it again? Oh, right. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, where the piper leads over 100 children on a march with the sound of his flute. The sound kept going. It was an awful sound, like something hitting something else. As I walked on, it kept getting closer. It was coming from the back of the narrow alley on the left. Once I rounded the corner, I'd see what it was. For some reason, I didn't think to turn around. The very idea of turning around never occurred to me. It was like I wasn't in control of my own body. I walked around the corner and saw, in the darkness, brilliant red. That's nice. The first thing I saw was that I'd seen something like it before. I thought was that I'd seen something like it before. Also, that it didn't look real at all. Maybe a few screws broke loose in my mind, and my senses had just become numb. In normal conditions, I would have screamed, fallen back on my butt, and peed myself right then and there. It was something that looked like a porcupine, or maybe a pincushion. Countless stakes were nailed into the wall. As I stared at it, I realized that the red blood was pouring out from beneath the stakes. The brilliant red I'd seen was a pool of blood. Faint light from the street lamp set inside the alley just barely reached in, making the red glisten. There was also all these little glistening piles of something. They kind of looked like hunks of meat. I tried to swallow. My throat was parched dry. There wasn't a single drop of saliva in my mouth. I'd realized. The thing nailed to the wall by those stakes was a human corpse. It was so far removed from my everyday life, so brutal, so overwhelming. And the one who had done it, the one who pounded all these crosses into raw concrete, was a single young girl. How could I tell? Because she was standing right there in front of the corpse, holding stakes in her blood-stained hand. Her back was turned, so I couldn't tell what the look on her face was. But the uniform she was wearing, it was Suime's. The awful smell, like raw, rotten garbage, clung to my nostrils even more firmly. Every few seconds, I felt like I was about to throw up. I put my hand over my mouth so that I wouldn't vomit. And then I finally realized where the sense of deja vu I'd been having came from. The pictures in the Shogun's links. I didn't realize I'd spoken aloud until it was too late. This would prove to be a fatal mistake. I saw the girl's shoulders twitch as she heard my voice. Then she slowly turned around. Her gaze pierced me. Her eyes were so flat and empty. She had killed him. No. She looked at me with startled wide eyes. Her expression then shifted to something combined with a smile with tears, and then... I'm so glad, she whispered. Glad? Glad about what? Why would anyone be glad about anything right now? It didn't make sense. It was so bizarre I felt a cold chill run down my spine and quickly looked away. It suddenly occurred to me that I didn't want to get involved in anything weird. I couldn't talk to real girls anyway. Also, she was a murderer. The cops were on their way. I was hungry too. Yeah, time to go home. Time to leave. Otherwise I'd go crazy. Taku. Suddenly she said my name. I hadn't introduced myself. I'd never seen her before. I wanted to meet you. Her lips curled upward into a terrible grin, like a demon's. I screamed, and as I screamed, I ran. I kept yelling until my throat hurt, running as fast as I could. Just once, I looked back, but she wasn't following me. I was out of breath. I could hear the sound of my own panting. I was sitting in front of my computer monitor. My whole body was soaked with sweat, and my clothes were too. What did I just see? Was that a delusion of mine? I still felt like I was about to throw up, so I went to the fridge, got a soda, and gulped it down. Yeah, that's what you do when you feel like you're about to throw up. It was a really realistic delusion, if I did say so myself, but way too gory. I was even still out of breath. It was just a delusion. How could I be out of breath? That was impossible. I felt something strange in my right hand. I was holding it so tightly that my fingers had turned white. Until that moment, I hadn't even realized it. My heart pounding, I slowly relaxed my grip and opened my palm. It was a single steak. Scared, I flung it at the wall. It was the steak from the delusion. I remembered picking up one of the ones lying on the ground. But why? Wasn't that a delusion? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's impossible. 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 I began to wander around the room, clutching my head in my hands. I needed to figure out if what I just seen was the delusion or reality. But before I could, I slipped on one of the CD cases on the floor and lost my balance. I reached out trying to grab something so I wouldn't fall. The only thing in reach on the shelf were my wives. The only thing in reach was the shelf where all my wives resided. By the time I realized what had happened, it was too late. I couldn't hold my weight and I ended up falling back onto the floor as figure after figure poured down on me. Ah, damn it. This was just awful. Everything was just awful. I moaned, then started to see if my figures were okay. The sword for my English down from Jinkai Myakyo. It had broken clean in two. I bought that thing in an online auction and I had to pay a whole bunch for it. Damn it all! I tried to put the sword back together, but even gluing it together wouldn't really fix it. It was worthless now. Come on! This is bullshit! I kicked my chair in anger, then I started to cry. Why did this have to happen to me? What did I do? I sat down and glumly stared at my now swordless Ignis. When the anger and confusion passed, I turned my mind toward the girl's face and the strange sight I'd seen. The fact that I was holding the stake meant that the murder was real, not a delusion. I didn't want to admit it, but I had no choice. By tomorrow the media would be in an uproar. Well, I had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. If I got involved with her, no. It wasn't her. It was some kind of monster. I'd be done for. I was already pretty close to screwed anyway. I'd taken a murder weapon home with me. The police might even think I was the killer. And that demon saw my face. There was no escaping this now. Next, she'd come after me. I needed to think, for my own sake. I needed to think so I could get out of this alive. Shogun equals Mr. Eagle. Mr. Eagle equals killer demon. I'm sure of it. Those photos were a message predicting the murder. There were no other explanation for how it happened, just like in the photos. First, the girl put together fake photos still on the computer, simulating exactly how the murder would happen. That was her way of making the murder. No, I bet she'd want me to call it a work of art instead of a murder. Psychopaths like her always thought that way. But that was her way of making sure it was perfect. She's crazy. But why me? How did she know that I was Nightheart anyway? How did she find out my name? What was I supposed to do? She'd be coming for me before long. She knew my name and my email, so she probably knew my address too. I pulled my legs up onto the chair and crossed my hands over my knees. I buried my head between them. The murder I'd seen yesterday was sheer madness. Just the thought of it happening to me.
死にたくない死にた
I
くな
don't
い
want
死
to
にた
die. I
くな
don't
い
want
死
to
にた
die.
く
I
ない
don't
死に
want
た
to
くない
die.
死
I
に
don't
たくな
want
い
to
死に
die.
た
I
く
don't
ない
want to
死にたくない死に
die.
たくない死にたくない死にたくない死にたくない
It's okay. Huh? Sarah was lying in front of my PC monitor smiling at me. Taki, all you have to do is stay here in your room. Then the demon won't be able to get you, right? If you wait long enough, the cops will catch her. Until that happens, don't believe anybody. Don't listen to anything anyone says. You know, demons like to take advantage of the weaknesses in people's hearts. So no letting your guard down. You can do that, right, Taki?
でもセイラ
But Sarah, you know the best way to win sometimes is to run away. Just forget all about the 3D world. Think of it as having nothing to do with you at all. Then it's much easier, right? And if it has nothing to do with you, then there's no point in thinking about it at all. It sounds like something a demon trying to isolate the victim would say. Yeah. Let me give you some advice. Hikikomori are the strongest people in the world. They don't have to interact with anyone, which means nobody can attack them. Being a hikikomori is the strongest way to protect yourself. Sataki, you should be a hikikomori. It's easy, right? Maybe you're right. That's why she was my wife after all. She was really smart. I leaned forward and gently grasped Sayadatan's thin waist. Even when my face got close to hers, Sayadatan didn't seem upset at all. She just kept smiling.
ありがとうセイラ
Thank you,
おか
Seira.
げで勇気が
I
出てき
feel a
た
lot better now.
そうだよ
That's right.
3次元だって
The
クソく
3D
らい
world can eat shit.
あの悪魔だって
That demon probably
僕み
doesn't
たい
even
な
care
妹
about
の
a
ことなんて
creepy
気にも
otaku
留め
like
てない
me.
さ僕は安全だ
I'm safe. All I have to do is just watch my favorite anime and play Yoso all day. I'll be just fine. But don't forget what I said. No letting your guard down. Yeah,
分かって
I
る
know. Don't believe in anybody. Don't listen to anything anyone says. Beware of anything 3D. That was all I had to do, and I'd be safe.
セイラにそこまで心配して
I'm
も
a
らえて
lucky man to have Seira care about me so much.
さてと
Now then,
それじゃ気分
time
直
for
し
some
に
ESO grinding. Alright. I'm not gonna be singing, but yeah, a clear voice echoed across Simiyashita Park in the depths of the night. On top of the pedestrian bridge over Meiji Street, as the cars came and went below, the girl they called FES leaned up against the bridge's safety rail, seemingly oblivious to the noise below. She had no audience. If she'd done a real street performance, she probably would have at least 100 people stopping to listen. But for now, Fess has chosen instead to hide herself behind the veil of night. All she had to do was stand there in the silence. Then she could be one with the darkness, and for a moment, at least, freed from the filthy air of Shibuya. That's how it seemed to her anyway. Suddenly she looked up at the night sky. The clouds that had covered it were slowly parting, and a faint ray of moonlight trickled through. But the bright, dazzling lights of Shibuya were hiding the hesitant twinkling of the stars.
落ちてゆく安息風に手と手をつないで
I feel like I should probably at least be reading what she's singing, which means I'll go back to the log and read what she has sung so far. The Flying Cross mostly was good because she said Flying Cross. The promise is now about to be fulfilled, and the end is now unleashed. Followers guided by the light of the moon. Path of illusions that leads to this place. The shouts soon turned to silence. Feeling peace as you fall, two hands clasping in the wind. Fess closed her mouth and reached up toward the sky.
その目誰の
Whose eyes are those? I spent the entirety of the next 24 hours in Base Lord. I didn't even quit to eat. I dedicated myself fully to erasing Takumi Nishijo and being Goodnight Heart. In ESO, I was a god. I didn't need to be scared of any demons. Everybody respected me. I always thought how nice it would be if I could spend forever in this wonderful world. Hey, oh, I got an Angel Halo. I got one. This thing's ultra rare. Wow. Got an Angel Halo. Got an Angel Halo. Kitakore. I need to use this right now. Let me open up my equip screen. Oh wow, my character's appearance changed. Awesome. This is awesome. Look, you gotta see this, Grim.
Huh?
Hmm? My heart cut it the hell out? Shut up, losers. You're just jealous. Maybe I'll head back into town and show this off. I finally got in one of the ultra rare drops I wanted. I was incredibly excited. All the depression I'd been feeling had just blown away. An Angel Halo had a drop rate of 0.0001%. It was completely useless and just changed the way your character looked. But this also meant that everybody could just see that you had an Angel Halo, and would all be really jealous. Yes, Nehar takes another step towards godhood. Hey, open the door! Shut up. Who's that pounding on my door anyway? I'm enjoying my new rare item. Don't interrupt me. You stupid brother. Yeah. That voice. The minute I heard it, my good mood vanished. It was an assassin sent by my parents, my little sister, not me. This was going to be a pain in the butt. It's really mean of you to not open the door. Damn it. A storm was about to roll in. I didn't want to open the door at all, but if I kept it shut, my parents would be the next ones to come. They told me to stop living by myself and come home. My dad was pretty much the owner of this building. If he wanted to kick me out, he could. That just wasn't fair. Brother! Shut up! Don't yell so loud. She was still banging on the outside of the door. The walls of a shipping container were a singular piece of metal, so any sound echoes really loudly. She knew that I was doing it anyway. I unlocked the padlock on the inside and opened the doors outward and had no other choice. Oh, there you are. Survival confirmed. This tiny shrimp of a girl was my little sister. She was 1 year younger than me. At least to answer when I'm calling your name. I thought you were dead. Every time I saw her, she was complaining about something. As you could tell from the way she was standing with her hands on her hips and pounding, she was a little brat. And if you asked me, she was nothing more than a huge nuisance. Wow,
相変わ
your
ら
room
ず
is
部屋
always
の
such a
中
mess.
汚
Clean it up
ちょっと
sometime,
片
would
付け
you?
なよ
Dots. Nanami walked right into my room without even bothering to ask if it was okay. She thought she could do whatever she wanted just because she was my little sister. To those of you out there who think little sisters are moe, I have a message for you. Face reality. Well, I guess she was kinda cute. If you were a lolly fan, she might be totally your type. But as her real brother, I didn't feel that way about her. At all. If anything, she seemed like a little baby to me. Oh, but I don't mind lolly characters. Just they have to be 2D.
カビ臭
It smells so moldy in
ゴミの部屋
here.
で
Your room is
相
just
変わらず
filthy.
不潔
I keep telling you to clean. Why don't you?
どうしてしないの
Well,
まあどうせ掃
you
除
don't
して
have
くれる
to
彼女
have a
なんかいない
girlfriend
だ
to
ろうし
clean it for you.
何言っ
Wait,
て
you
ズボ
don't.
ラだから
I can read.
こうなるのは
Well,
目に見
you
え
don't
てるさ
have a girlfriend to clean it for you. And you're lazy, so I knew this would happen.
こうなったら
I guess I'll have to start coming by to clean up for you.
だがこと
But
は
I refuse.
なんでよ
Why?
お前に
I don't want you
Yeah,
messing up
honestly,
my room.
きっと
That's mean.
それが
Is that what you say to your sister who came to see if you're alive? Well, you're not showing your older brother any respect, are you? Nobody asked you to see if I was alive anyway.
まったく
Jeez. Why do I gotta have a brother who's such a pain? Sometimes it makes me sick.
たまに嫌になっちゃうよ
Huh.
なんか
I'm
喉乾いちゃ
thirsty.
った
I'm gonna grab something to drink. Thoughts. Nanui walked to the back of the room and opened the fridge again without even bothering to ask. Oh, this
ほらしかない
again.
じゃんミルクティーとか用意しといてよ
I still don't understand this game mechanic. Wait, how many save slots do I have? Do I literally only have the 8 save slots? Oh no. Oh no. I think I only have the 8 save slots. That's not good. There's nothing in here but soda. You should keep some milk tea or something in stock.
知らんがな
Don't tell me what to do.
しょうがないな
Fine.
じゃあ
I'll just take a soda. As usual, she seemed to have no intention of asking for her brother's permission. She grabbed a bottle of soda, one that I already drank from, out of the fridge. She hesitated for a moment before swallowing it down. Okay. Who the hell did Nanami think she was anyway? I hope you get sick from drinking too much soda and end up in the hospital. Then I won't have to worry about anybody interrupting my peaceful life. I wish that would really happen. Suddenly, Nanami started to moan. The plastic bottle slipped out of her hand, spilling soda on the floor. It splattered on the CDs and manga magazines lying there.
お前
Hey! I was about to tell her not to mess up my room, but then I gasped. She was holding her neck in pain and her eyes had flared wide open. Her mouth was gaping open and closed like a fish's. Nanami. She spat out blood. It was red. Dark red. Almost black. It landed on the cola on the floor, mixing in with it. Then she collapsed to the ground right on top of the mess. Her whole body began to spasm in pain. Her hands were ripping into her neck as she tried to dig her nails into the skin. Well. You look away for 5 seconds and the sister is dead? Yep, I mean, he literally asked for it. He wished she would just drop dead, so careful what you wish for, man, I guess. She flailed her legs as she rolled around on the floor, oblivious to the fact that I could see her panties. Priorities, dude. This isn't a nice thing to think at all, but she seemed to me like a fish on a cutting board. I didn't know what to do at all, so I just covered my ears. But I could still hear my little sister's dying screams. Eventually she stopped moving, her face covered in drooling blood and tears. Nanami. The mold did get her, yeah. I called out her name, afraid. There was no answer. She was lying on the floor in a terrible state. What did you miss? Here's sister. Sister is dying. To death. Yeah. I don't know at what point you left, but yeah, I could smell something like ammonia. Was it Nanami who'd pissed herself, or was it me? I slowly moved my hand forward to poke her shoulder. She didn't move at all. The very thought of doing it creeped me out, but I moved my head close to her mouth. She wasn't breathing. She was dead. Nanami was dead. It was a poisoning, like you see on TV. It was then that I understood. I'd put poison in the soda to kill Nanami. That had to be it. Why did I kill her? I knew it was my own delusion, but it still creeped me out. This one went way too far. Nanami might have been annoying, but I didn't need to have her die in such a realistic way. I could have at least settled for giving her the full boko. Well, what's wrong? Nanami finished drinking her soda and looked at me in confusion. You don't look so good. Thoughts. I shook my head slightly. I'm sorry. For what? Nothing. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry for doing weird things to you, even if it was just in my delusions. I'm really sorry. But it just goes to show how much frustration toward you is building up inside me. I want you to understand that. You don't need to apologize. I'm not going to get mad over you not having milk tea. I also like soda too, I guess. Wait, she drank my whole bottle of soda. I take it back. There's no need to apologize to Nanami. She should commit seppuku and die. Go home. You confirmed that I was still alive. He should be done now, right? Why do you have to come into my room all the time? Brother, you're mean. Nanami seemed annoyed at my words. She was glaring at me with a frown. I didn't want to deal with it, so I just looked away. I came here because I'm worried about you. You know, some days you stay in here the whole day and don't talk to a single person. You don't have any chances to talk to girls like that, am I wrong? Shut up. Don't make fun of me. I'm not interested in 3D girls. I don't need to talk to them. I'm basically the only girl you talk to, right? So treat me better. If you do, you'll start learning how to talk to girls. As she spoke, she picked up one of my figures. Hikaru-tan from Suicide toward the light. She stared at it. Hey, don't touch one of my wives. If you get a fingerprint on her, I'm seriously going to kick your butt. Also, take better care of yourself. Don't spend all day talking to your dolls. I don't want to be the one who finds your dead body, okay? What was my little sister trying to say? She's starting to sound like mom lately. What I meant by that was... she was annoying. Just go away. Big brother, you jerk. Stop telling me to leave. That's a cute pose.
まだこっちには用事が
I'm still
残って
not
るぞ
done here yet. She was starting to get hysterical. But it made her any madder. She might go berserk. I had to stay calm.
携帯買いに行こ
Let's go buy a cell phone.
は
What? What was she talking about?
うお父さんがそうしろって
Dad says you gotta. If you got a phone, you can always tell whether you're alive or not, right?
お金はナナが預か
They
って
gave me the money for it, so let's go right now. Everybody's got a phone these days, you know? You're gonna be left behind, you know? Shut up, trend follower. I know a lot more about what's popular than you do. I've got the internet, you know? Okay, maybe most kids my age had a phone, but I didn't. There's no reason why I wouldn't want one. I had nobody to call or text, and I didn't want to spend money on something I wasn't going to use.
だから行こ
So let's go, okay? Danui puts the figure back on the shelf and peered up at me.
うどうせお兄は機
You
種とか
probably
わ
won't
かんな
know
い
which
だろ
one
う
to
から
get, so just get the same phone I have. She took her phone out of her bag and waved it in my face.
ほら
See?
これがナナの
This one's mine. It's a cute color, right?
ついでだから
I'll give you a strap that matches mine
同じの
too.
あげるよ
うわ
Ugh, how lazy was the person who came up with this character? I gave her the strap was a small figurine of a character that was, well, whatever it was. It certainly wasn't cute. It looked like something created by a rookie designer with no talent at all. It wasn't cute, or even creepy cute. It was just creepy.
手抜きじゃないもん
It's not lazy. This is Ghetto Froggy. He's really popular right now. I guess I can't expect my big brother to know what teenage girls are like. Or what teenage girls like. If you change that about yourself, though, you'd probably be able to talk to a girl. At least a little. Quiet, girl. What the hell kind of name is Ghetto Froggy? There's no way this thing was popular. The poor girl didn't realize she was being manipulated by the media. Anyway, we're not talking about Ghetto Froggy right now. Come on, let's go buy you a cell phone. Oh, I'm not saying I want us to have matching phones or anything, okay? You just get a discount if the whole family has the same phone. You're the only member of the family who doesn't have one.
いらない
I don't need one. But why not? That's even paying for it.
必要ない
I don't need one. It would just be a nuisance. If I had a phone, Mom would probably call every day. And if I didn't pick up, she'd send her pet assassin, not at me here to check on me. In other words, it would just be a nuisance, and to one that would make my life a lot harder. I didn't want that at all. I can't believe you, brother, you jerk. I'm going home.
あ
Yeah,
あそうしてくれ
please do. I opened the door for her to go, but she didn't move. She just glared at me, shoulders heaving with rage. You really are stupid. You're a stupid jerk. At least walk me to the station.
嫌だね
No. I never walked her to the station all the times she'd come before. Why would I start now? There's been all those creepy murders lately, right? Should you be worried about your little sister? For a moment, what happened yesterday felt like it was going to come flooding back to me. I shook my head desperately, trying to drive the thought out of my mind.
どうでもいいし
I don't care. Whoever the new gen killer was, they weren't going to be interested in a little kid like Nanami. I can't believe you. You're saying you don't care if I die? She was crying. It must have really made her sad. You don't say. It felt great. That's what you get for disrupting my peaceful life. You would be my little way of getting revenge. This would be my little way of getting revenge. I can read so good. That's what you get. You jerk. I hope you die. I hope a serial killer gets you and you die. She knocked me aside and ran out the door. Phew. At last the storm was over. The room was quiet now that she was gone. It was much nicer. The base was my home. Nothing was allowed to happen here unless I wanted it to. I sat down on my computer and moved the mouse a little to wake it from my Sereton screensaver. Then I took a big swig from the soda bottle on the table, but it was empty. Uh-oh, crap. This is the one Nanami was drinking out of. Ugh, oh no. I just had an indirect kiss with my little sister. If Nanami was a little sweeter, it might have been great. Like something out of an age game. But with her personality, it just made me feel sick. I closed the cap on the bottle and threw it into the big garbage bag on the corner of the room. It missed and bounced off the wall, rolling under the bed, but whatever. Now then, time to get back to ESO. Time to forget all of the annoying stuff that just happened in the real world. But sadly, I was forced to bring my time at base lore to an end after just a single day. When I left the base early in the morning, my mental state was back in the dumps, and any improvements that I felt from my time in the game was gone. Why did I have to go to school? Why did it have to be today? This sucks. But I couldn't stay home. If I stayed home, it would ruin my whole attendance schedule, and I wouldn't be able to graduate. Graduate. Why the hell do I need to graduate anyway? It was my idea, but still, I couldn't help but complain. When I got to the luxury residence at Shoto, I suddenly realized I'd been feeling someone looking at me the whole time. But it wasn't God's gaze. There wasn't that weird feeling on my neck. As I turned the corner, I saw a quick look good behind me without turning around. I caught a glimpse of a girl in a Suime uniform. Was it the demon from 2 days ago? Suddenly my heart started to pound. I was so nervous that I started to walk funny. I started to feel like I was no longer I no longer belonged in the quiet morning around me. I could hear the sound of birds chirping on the power lines and the faint sound of the morning news from the televisions inside the houses around me. This didn't feel like a place where any kind of murder could happen, and yet I felt like I was about to have delusions of myself being brutally killed. No, I needed to calm down. I hadn't gotten a clear look at their face, had I? And if they were a CMA student, it was only natural they'd be following me. They were headed to school just like I was. Okay, I had an idea. Instead of following the path that led straight towards school, I made a right instead. I fought down the urge to turn around and try to act as naturally as possible. I kept walking, trying to contain my nervousness. After a minute, I quietly turned around. Our eyes almost met, and I quickly turned my head forward again. Why was she following me? This wasn't the way to school. Was she actually tailing me? It was a face I didn't recognize. The one thing I could tell for sure, though, was that I wasn't the demon from the other day. This girl had glasses. Just knowing that alone made me feel much more relieved. I decided I should just head straight towards school. I'd have to cancel my usual morning breakfast, but I didn't have a choice. Damn you, girl A. To me, you're just pedestrian number 1, girl A. No more important than that, so go away. Girl A stopped tailing me and did disappear when I got to the school entrance. She seemed to have somewhere else to go, since she headed for the third-year student classrooms. Maybe I was just imagining her tailing me, but it didn't make sense that she'd followed me down a route that led away from the school. Was she just trying to upset me? Had I done something to make her mad? No, I hadn't. There's no way I could. At the school, I was as invisible as the air. So what was she after? I somehow made it through an awful day at school, and as always, stopped at Cafe on my way home. Of course, I was in room 37. Usually the rooms around me were empty, but surprisingly enough, there was somebody in room 36 today. The door to the room was closed. I could see the desk light was turned on inside. I sighed a little as I went into my own room. Having someone next door made it hard to chat. I was the kind of person who always said things out loud when he chatted. Well, whatever. Time to just log into ESO. I'd just have to be careful not to say anything.
だよこいつら
What's their problem? I slammed my palm down on the keyboard, annoyed. I've been playing for about 2 hours now. Today was just a stressful day. The pair had grouped up with were clearly new players. As always, I stayed in the background, trying to let them have the glory for themselves, but one would always run in ahead of us and die, and then do it again. Father, a mage, refused to use any magic to help us. Our party must have died a dozen times. And then on top of that, all they did was complain and chat. Freaking idiots. I got so mad I PK'd them, took all their items, and then quickly escaped to another area. Nightheart couldn't do that stuff, but Lizalette could. That was why I came all the way to at Cafe to log in. I felt a little better, so I decided to take a break and go get something to drink. At Cafe had free drinks and well-stocked soda fountain near the counter. The one problem with room 37 was that it was pretty far from the bar. When I left the room, I saw that the door to room 36 was open. I had to go by it if I was going to get to the soda fountain. I took a quick peek inside, and as I walked by, nobody was there, actually. Or else I heard the sound of somebody getting up a moment ago. But there was a bag sitting next to the chair in the room. It was a student's bag. Decorative straps hung from it, stuffed animals dangling at their ends. They were Ghetto Froggy, the thing Nanami had showed me yesterday. 3 of them too. Maybe it really was popular. Not that I cared. If I kept to staring at it and they came back, they might think I was a stalker or a thief. I decided to forget about it and go get my soda. But when I saw what was showing on the monitor, my eyes went wide. The monitor was displaying the words New Gen Aggregator site. It was in a really nasty looking, attention-grabbing font too. New Gen. I've been deliberately avoiding looking up anything about it. I don't want to know the details. That was how I was telling myself that I had nothing to do with myself. Blah, blah, blah. That was how I was telling myself that it had nothing to do with me. Anyway, was the reason the person who just happened to be in the room next to me at a Nat Cafe was looking at a New Gen Aggregator site? For a moment, I saw the demon girl's face again, and my whole body shivered. I shook my head to drive away the negative thoughts. I was overthinking it. Yeah, I was just being paranoid. New Gen was the media's favorite subject right now. Not a day went by when the TV talk shows weren't discussing it. Everybody was interested in it. That was the only reason. Yeah, it had to be. I had to forget about it and go get my soda. I put my soda under the dispenser and pushed the button for soda. Nice cold soda came down, right into the cup. The sun was setting, and it was starting to get crowded. I could see a small line of people waiting at the register. As it got later, more and more people were going to come. In an hour or so, all the rooms around 37 would be full. That would probably be my cue to go home. I took my cup and went back to my seat. As I walked back, I took a quick glance down the corridor that led to the restrooms. Huh? I saw a girl with glasses and a Suime uniform disappearing down the end of the hall. It was Girl A, the one who'd been following me this morning. Huh? I thought I must have been mistaken, so I hid behind a bookshelf and watched the corridor for a while, but I never saw her again. I must have been imagining it, right? Yeah, I'd only seen her for a second. And there were probably a ton of Suime girls who used this cafe, a lot of whom probably wore glasses. But what if it was Girl A? What was she doing here? Was it just a coincidence? Or had she followed me? I started to feel scared. I left the cafe and hurried back to the base. I'd gotten too scared to stay. I wanted to go home as fast as possible, but the streets are crowded with people, and I couldn't move forward as fast as I wanted. I was starting to feel sick. I hated crowds. I felt like everyone was laughing at me. The crosswalk turned red, so I had to stop. I took a quick look around. There was no sign of Girl A. As I headed up Dogenzaka Hill, walking got a lot easier. Usually I chose to take the back streets where there weren't as many people. But after what happened 2 days ago, I decided to take the main streets instead. I came to another red light and looked around again, but there was no sign of Girl A. Maybe the person I'd seen at a cafe was somebody else after all. I relaxed a little, relieved, and turned around. Here we go again. Okay, I think I'm kind of getting the idea. Like, if I do the red, he'll succumb to his, like, delusions, probably? I don't know. Let's see if we can find out. I took a step back in shock. There on this other side of the crosswalk, standing with the other pedestrians waiting to cross, was the girl. And her eyes, behind her glasses, were locked dead onto me. And her eyes were intense, as if she was trying to send some kind of message. Maybe it was just a reflection from a passing car, but a flash of light illuminated the lens of her glasses. I heard it. Her lips twisted as if she were mocking me. There was so much distance between us. There were so many people around us. But still, I could hear her tiny laugh. And as she laughed, she suddenly lifted up her skirt. Dozens of small shining objects fell out from inside it. They looked like crosses. I remember the crucifixion I'd seen the other day. The look on her face was sheer insanity. Her lips were bloodshot, her cheeks frozen, and a smile was on her lips. Then for some reason, she started to walk across the street even though the light was still red. I shriveled up in fear and tried to run, but my legs were rooted to the ground. I couldn't even speak. She was getting closer, crossing the street, the cross-shaped stakes in her hand. Stay away. I screamed in my mind, and then she was hit by a truck that was driving down the road and thrown down the street. The people around me started to scream. There were too many people between us for me to see what had happened to her, but I was sure that she was dead. She was dead for sure. She was lying on the ground, broken, bones shattered and covered in blood. I'm saved, I told myself, even though I knew it was a terrible thing to think. I came back to my senses. My body was soaked with an awful sweat. The people around me weren't screaming anymore. They were simply waiting for the light to change. There's no sign of any truck. And the girl on the other side of the street was still there, staring. Was what I'd just seen just a delusion? The light changed. The crowd began to move. I couldn't move. Girl A didn't move. She didn't smile or flip up her skirt. She just stared at me. It was as if time had stopped for the two of us and no one else. Why wasn't she moving? Why was she just standing there? It didn't make sense. It was weird. I shouldn't get involved. I needed to run. I needed to run while I could. Run. I forced my timid brain into action and ran as fast as I could. I ran in the opposite direction from her and down a side street I saw. I collided with something and fell on the ground hard, hitting my shoulder. I gasped in agony as pain raced through my whole body. I couldn't tell what had happened. It was all I could do to sit up. When I looked, I saw there was a large scooter in the middle of the street that I'd knocked over. I must have collided with it. I gritted my teeth and tried to force myself to stand up, but I couldn't feel any strength in my legs. I didn't think anything was broken, but... Are you okay?
ですか?
Girl A was there. She must have caught up to me at some point. She was looking down on me, worried. But what? What the hell was going on? Who was this woman? My body wouldn't move. I was too scared. I didn't know what to do. It was too late now, but I regretted not taking the train to Shinsen.
けど
Are you
してません
hurt?
か？
Her voice was timid and hesitant. Was she trying to act worried to get me to let down my guard? You're not going to fool me. I won't let any 3D girls fool me.
な、
What do you
なんなんだよ
want? Huh?
ついてくるな
Don't
よ
follow me. What do you
僕
want
に
from
何の用
me?
だ
I yelled at her. I still couldn't stand up, so I crawled away from her. If I didn't put some distance between us, I was afraid she might pull a knife on me. The terrible sight came back to me again and again, and I kept feeling like it was going to happen to me too. She seemed hurt.
えっと
You just started running,
あな
so
た
I
が
got
急に
worried
走り出
and
して
followed you.
様子を見
I
に
saw
来
you
て
lying
倒
on
れ
the
てたので
ground, and
心配で
but
で
I don't have
でも
anything to
その
talk to you about right now.
今
So
は用事とかあるわけじゃないんですが、そのえっと
you don't have anything to talk to me about? What does that mean?
じゃあ
Then why are you
付きま
following
とってく
me?
るんだ
えっと それは
It's because she was stammering. It was really suspicious.
私
My name
楠
is
木
Iwa
優愛って言いま
Kusunoki.
す。
He hadn't asked, but she introduced herself anyway.
その 実は
When I saw you,
あなたのこと
I kind of got
一目見て
curious about you,
なんとなく
and
存在が気になってそれで
so I,
つい
so you started stalking me? The girl, Yua, was staring at the ground as she talked.
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry. She bowed. Impossible. That was my honest reaction. Not that... Now that I got a clear look at her, this Yua girl was pretty cute. I'll admit that. But that doesn't mean I could believe it. A 3D girl? Interested in me? What kind of H game scenario was that? That never happened in my entire life. It sounded to me like an obvious lie. Did she think this would make me happy? Especially when she'd been acting like a stalker a moment ago. Maybe if she was 2D, it might work, but a 3D girl like that was just a weirdo. Scary. I felt really embarrassed just being here too. Wanted to get out of here as soon as possible. 3D girls are just the worst. Even talking to one made you nervous.
僕は
I'm not
三次
interested
元
in
に興味はないよ
3D.
あいや
No,
me-
you. I tried to say something harsh, but hesitated. But I knew if I didn't say it, she'd keep stalking me. I didn't want that.
迷惑だよ
You're a weirdo.
付きまと
Leave
わな
me
いよ
alone. Sorry.
すいま
I'm
せん
sorry. She looked sad. Did she really feel bad about it, maybe? No, I couldn't let her fool me. I couldn't believe in any 3D person. I only believed in 2D. Nothing else. I could trust Seira-tan a lot more than I could trust her.
もう
J-
ついて
Just leave me
来ないで
alone.
ぼ
I'm going
僕
home.
帰るから
I forced myself to stand up as I stammered out the words. My whole body still hurt, especially my shoulder. I could barely move it, and every so often, I'd feel a dull ache from it. The pain was making me a little dizzy. I might have hit my head a little when I landed. I staggered for a moment, and Yua quickly grabbed my hand.
怪我してるんですね
You're hurt, right?
手貸します
Let me help you. It was all I could do not to turn to look at her. I knew my face was bright red. If she saw it, she'd definitely make fun of me. I knocked her hand away violently so that I could turn away from her. My mind was going blank. I almost never had a chance to touch a girl who wasn't a family member. I could feel my heartbeat quickening.
お家まで送ります
Let me walk you home.
あなたが怪我
I
した
got
のは
hurt because I was
私が
following you.
付きまとっちゃったせいですから。だから
So,
遅
let
ら
me
せて
walk
く
you
ださい。
home. I appreciated her offer. I wasn't used to having anybody be nice to me, and I felt like I might have actually fallen in love with this theater girl I hated just a moment ago. Damn. But that didn't mean I had the courage to look straight at her. And anyway, she was a stalker, and she may have something to do with that demon girl too. And I didn't want to die. So many different thoughts were racing through my head that I didn't know what I felt anymore.
あの、お家
Where do
ど
you
こですか？
live? Oh,
シンセ
Shinsei.
深セン？
Shinsen? I nodded and then realized what I'd done. Why the hell did I just tell her that? What was I expecting to happen? That was just a delusion anyway. Or even if it wasn't, I would only be happy for a while before it got ruined at the last second. That's how it always worked out in anime, right? I could feel the death flags popping up by the second. Crap, 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 crap. Now she was up against me, trying to help me walk. I could feel her soft body up against mine. Her smell smelled meh. Her hair smelled good. I'm so good at reading. Impossible. No 3D girl would ever be this nice to me.
歩けます。
Can you walk? I nodded again.
じゃあ、行きましょう。
Then let's go. She sounded nervous, and she was watching my feet as we slowly walked. At this point, I didn't feel like I could refuse or shake her off. Helplessly, I let her tiny body support me as we went. Neither I nor Yua said a word until we got to the building where the base was at. There was no way I could have a real conversation with a girl. Even if I talked about anime or games or figures, a 3D girl would never try to understand. She'd just tell me I was creepy. And from my perspective, there's no point in talking to worthless girls like that.
ここで
Th-
もう
This is
いいか
far enough, I whispered, and then watched to see how she reacted. She nodded slightly and then let go of me. I still staggered a little.
やっぱり、
Are you sure you
お部
don't
屋
want
ま
me
で
to take
つ
you
い
to
てい
your
きまし
room?
ょうか。
I ignored her and headed for the building's lobby. I say lobby, but it was really just a narrow hallway leading to some elevators. There's a small staircase, and when I tried to go up it, I felt an incredible pain that almost knocked me over.
大丈夫ですか？
Are you okay? She ran over and grabbed me. Damn it. Was she still here?
やっぱり部屋まで
I
送り
need
ま
to
す。
take you to your room. I'm gonna do it no matter what you say.
送りますから。
Okay. For some reason, she seemed really desperate. To be honest, she'd been a big help in getting me this far. Yeah. My base was on the roof, and to get there, you had to take the elevator to the 8th floor, and then go up a steep staircase. I couldn't have done it on my own. Yua didn't look that strong, but she'd done everything she could to help me get up. She's been supporting me for so long she was out of breath.
こんなところに住んでるんですね。
You live here, huh? She looked at the shipping container in shock. I guess to most people, living in a shipping container was really weird.
なんか、
I'm kind of
憧れます。
jealous. Huh?
アウトローな感じがして。
It's got this kind of outlaw feeling to it, you know? I certainly wasn't expecting her to say that. Was she trying to suck up to me? You can't fool me. I'm not letting 3D girls fool me. With her help, I unlocked the padlock and went inside. Phew, I was finally home. Another awful day. Resolved again to never leave my room if I could help it.
真っ暗ですね。
It's so dark.
電気のスイッ
Where's
チ
the
は
light
どこに
switch? She'd come right inside my room without bothering to ask. Well, I guess it was because she'd been helping me walk this whole time. But still, I didn't really want her seeing the inside of my room. There was a whole shelf of figures and H game boxes on the bed, and garbage all over the floor.
もういいから
I'm fine.
は
You
話して
can let go. I waited for her to remove her hand, but she didn't.
床すごく散らかって
And the floor's a disgusting
じゃな
mess.
くて
I mean, it's probably really
歩
hard
き
to
に
walk
くいと
on
思
it.
うんですけど
It's dangerous.
絶対危ないですソファーまで行きましょう
Let's get you to the
そ
sofa.
こで話し
Then I'll
ま
let
す
you
から
go. In the end, I did as she told me. There were CDs and magazines all over the sofa, but she cleared a spot for me to sit down. She was really kind and considerate. Wait, I wasn't going to let her fool me. Not a chance.
平気ですか
Are you alright?
うん
Yeah. It was just me and her inside the room. The door was still open, and a little bit of the moonlight was coming in through it, but the room was mostly pitch black. It was too dark to read the expression on her face. The fact that I couldn't see her made the sound of US breathing seem almost seductive somehow. I realized that this was my first time I'd let a girl besides my sister into my room, and she was also someone I barely even knew. This was a game. With me, she was totally into me. Maybe there'd be a situation where things kept going, and I'd end up kissing her. But that wasn't what I was expecting. Reality was always cruel. It wasn't like 2D. And this girl wasn't normal either. She was a stalker. How long good was she going to keep standing there anyway? Now that she'd seen me home, shouldn't she be going? Then I realized. Was she waiting to get me alone so she could do something horrible to me?
明かりのスイッ
Where's
チ
the
は
light switch?
えっと
Oh,
パソコンの
the computer.
パソコン
Computer. The only light in this room was the desk light next to the computer. I tried to tell her that, but I couldn't.
そうか
Oh, I see.
あのデスクライト
Over
で
on
す
the
ね
desk.
うん
Yeah. She carefully dodged around the garbage on the floor as she walked over to the computer desk and turned on the light. The room was finally freed from the darkness. When it was dark, the fact that I couldn't see made me imagine all kinds of different delusions, but being able to see her wasn't much better. I felt twice as embarrassed as before. I felt dead silent and quickly turned my face down. Huh? Her sudden gasp startled me. I looked and saw she was looking at the figure of Seirata next to my computer monitor.
これって
This is
ブラチューの
Seira from
セイラちゃん
Bloodtoon,
で
right?
すよね
Huh?
知ってるの
You know her?
はい
Yes.
ブラチ
I
ューは
love
大好き
Bloodtoon.
で毎週
I
見
watch
て
it
ます
every week. Huh?
へえ
Huh?
セイラちゃんがお好きなんです
I
ね
really like Seira.
私もヒ
She's
ロ
my
インの
favorite
中では
heroine.
彼女
Her
が一番
outfit's
好きなん
cute.
ですよ衣装も可愛いですし
And there was a note of happiness in her voice. She seemed like she was telling the truth. That was surprising. Was NoAH
不女子
Fujoshi?
あうん
Oh, no. She was just an anime fan, I guess.
あれフィギ
And
ュ
this
ア
is what you call a
って言うんですよね。
figure, right?
ちょっ
Can I
と見せ
take
て
a
もら
look?
ってもいいですか
Oh,
すみません
sorry. I know
ず
that's
うずう
rude
し
of
いこと言
me.
っちゃって
I should just be going.
もう帰った方がいいですよね
She started to bow apologetically.
見て
You can
いいよ
take a look. I didn't mind it when somebody complimented my wife. I guess I could be a little nice to her.
本当ですか
Really?
ありがとうございま
Thank
す
you. She picked up Seira and began to examine her.
それは
That's the
山陽堂版の
pre-awakening
覚醒
version
前バー
that
ジョンだ
Sanyoda made. There are a bunch of Seira figures out there, but this is the first one that was ever made.
へえ
Huh?
あまりクオリティは高
And the
くない
quality isn't very
顔と
good.
か微
The
妙に
face was
崩れ
kind
て
of
るし
wrong in
ポー
spots.
ズも平
And
凡
the
すぎ
pose
て
is
あんま
really
りエロくないし
generic. Not sexy at all.
でも服の
But right
胸元
now,
部分を
it's
キャ
the
スト
only
オフ
one
でき
that
るの
has
は
cast
今の
off.
ところそれ
So
だ
you
け
can
なんだ
take her top off.
胸
Her
元
top?
ちなみに僕は
Also,
セーラーフィ
I've
ギュ
got
ア
all
は
four
4種類
versions
全
of
部
her
揃えてるよ
figures. On that
そっちの
shelf,
棚
you'll
に
see
制
her
服バージョン
uniform
とメイ
version,
ド
her
バージョ
maid
ンあと
version,
ミ
and
ニ
her
バージョン
swimsuit
がある
version.
そんなに種類が
There's that
す
many.
ごいですね
Wow.
一番評価が高いのは
The maid
メイ
version
ド
has
バー
the
ジョンなん
best
だけど
reviews,
個
but
人的には
personally, I like the
水着バー
swimsuit
ジョンも悪く
version.
ないよ
そうなんですか
I see.
見てみ
I
た
love
い
to
です
see
ね
them, but it's a little
で
dark.
もちょっと暗くて
もうすぐアルファから
Alpha's
待望の
finally
覚
about
醒
to
後バー
release
ジョ
the
ンが出てるんだけ
post-awakening
どこれ
version,
はかなり
and
クオリティ
it's
高そう
gonna
なん
be
だ
really high quality.
キャストオフも胸
It
元
lets you
だけじゃ
take
なくて
off all
ほ
their
ぼ全身
clothes,
可能だっ
not
ていう
just
し
her top,
表情
and
も
her,
ポーズ
her
も質感も
expression,
言うことな
pose,
し
and
だね
texture are just perfect.
あとはカラーさ
If
え
they
バッチ
can
リな
get
ら
the
今
coloring
年
right,
発売された
it
フィ
might
ギュ
be
アの
one
中
of
で
the
も
best
MVP 候
figures
補
of
だ
the
よ
year.
アルファ
Alpha.
メーカーだよ
A
フィギュアの
manufacturer of figures.
あ
Oh,
なるほど
I see. Suddenly, I gasped. I realized that I talked way too much. And about anime figures, too. I had the feeling I'd said all kinds of really embarrassing things about taking off clothes or sexy poses, too. I wanted to see what the expression on her face was, but I didn't have the courage. She was probably looking at me like I was a piece of human garbage. My heart was pounding fast as she tried to look away. As I tried to look away, I can read so good.
あの
When she said my name, I turned to face her before I'd realized what I'd done. The look of disgusting contempt I expected. It wasn't there.
さっき言っていた
Can I see
戦
the
闘バージョン
combat
とか
version
メイ
and
ドバー
maid
ジョン
version
も
you were
見
talking
せても
about?
らっていいですか
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah,
うん
they're on that shelf.
そっちの棚に
I didn't know how to react. She was smiling and looked like she was having a great time.
すご
Wow,
いですね
this is amazing.
こんなに
Look
た
at
くさん
them all. As she stared at the shelf of figures, her eyes were smiling brightly. I couldn't believe that a 3D girl could look at these and not be freaked out. Was the world a bigger place than I thought it was?
メイ
Oh,
ドセーラちゃん
this
っ
is
て
maid
これ
Sarah,
ですね
huh?
ふむふむ
It's a little
Anime
different than the
の衣装とは
anime,
ちょっと
but
違う
it's
けど
really cute.
すごく可愛いです下着ま
They
で
even
ちゃん
put
と
a
作り
bunch of
込ん
effort
であ
into
るん
the
だ
underwear too. I'd never seen the real thing before, but this is great.
いいです
Maybe I'll
ね
buy one too.
私も買ってみようかな
だったら
If you're interested,
覚
you
醒
should
部
put
バ
in a
ージョンを予
reservation for
約
the
した方がいいよ
post-awakening
あれは
version.
絶
It's
対
gonna
おす
be
すめだから
awesome.
そうですね あ
You're
なたの
right.
話を聞いていたら
Listening to you
そ
made me
の
really
覚
want
醒後バー
one.
ジョンは本気で欲しくなりました
I like the touch of the screensaver turning on.
覚醒後って
Post-awakening would be from that
scene
scene in
の
the
ことですよ
episode
ね
12, right?
よく知ってますなお主
You recognize
かな
it,
りの
huh?
マニアですな
You must be a big fan.
はい
Yes,
好きですから
I really am.
特にあの
Every
時
day,
の
I
覚
watch
醒
the
シー
copy
ン
of the
は毎
awakening
日
scene
録画
that I
したものを見
recorded.
返してます
あのシーンって演出と
The
作画が
direction and
宮地だ
animation for that
だか
scene
ら
were
クオリ
done
ティ
by
高くて当
Miyaji,
然
so of course it's gonna be high quality.
宮地
Miyaji?
そういう神クリエイターがいるん
What's the
だ
name of this
あの
god
人の
level
演出はマジ
creator?
で神だよ
His
バッ
directing
ト
is
ちゃんの実況
incredible.
版でも神
Whenever
来
he
たっ
does
てなるし
something, Hanchan freaks out.
そうなんですか
I see.
すごく知識が豊富
You
なんで
really
す
know a
ね
lot about it, huh?
私
I never
スタッ
put
フ
any
が
thought
誰かなんて
into who the
まる
staff
で気
were.
にしてませんでした
監督と演出と
You
脚
should
本は
always
チェッ
look
クし
at
て
who
おくとい
does
いよ
the series
特に
directing,
新作なんか
episode
はそれを
directing,
調
and
べるだけで内
scripting.
容の良し
For
悪し
new
が
stuff,
大体予
that
測
alone
で
will
きる
tell
し
you whether it's gonna be good or not.
わかりました
Alright,
今度か
I'll
ら
do
そう
that
して
from
み
now
ます
on.
ね
She was still smiling at me with her pretty smile.
あ
The girl, smiling at me. I thought that only happened in H games, but now it was happening to me. But whenever 3D girls, especially my little sister, were smiling at me, it was because they were making fun of me. She was up to something, I knew it. I couldn't forget Seidaton's words. Don't believe anybody. Don't listen to anything anyone says.
あの
Huh?
こんな
I
こと
don't know
聞い
if
てい
it's
いか
okay
ど
for me
う
to
か
ask,
わから
but...
ないんですけど
何
But... She started to fidget a little. She was looking... down at the ground and avoiding looking me in the eye.
聞かせてもらっても
Can I
いい
ask
でしょうか。
your name?
あなた
名前
My name? I realized that she introduced herself, but I hadn't.
に
Ta-
西条
Takumi Nishijo.
匠
Suddenly, I felt embarrassed. The words came out quiet and soft.
西条
Takumi Nishijo, huh? What year are you?
あに
S- second year.
私は3年
I'm in third year.
私
I
の
guess
方
I'm
が
older
年
than
上
you,
さんです
huh?
ね。
Oh boy. Let's keep it consistent. Oh no. That moe pose was enough to make me pass out. Was Yue's moe type quiet older girl? She was trying to seduce me. She was dangerous. She was definitely up to something.
それで
So,
西条君にお
I
願い
have
が
a
あるんです
request. Don't tell me.
私
I'm
あ
in
な
love
たのこと
with
が
you.
好きなんです。
Oh boy.
ずっと
I've always been
西条君のことを
watching
見て
you.
ました。もう
And I don't want to just watch anymore. Her face was now bright red. For some reason, as she talked, she started to rummage through her bag. She seemed to be looking for something.
あなたの全部を
I want to make you
私の
mine,
ものにしたい
and
ん
mine
です。
alone.
それでいろいろ考
So I
えて
thought, and I thought,
一番素敵な
and I
方
came
法
up with the best way to make that happen. I'm not sure about it being a good delusion, Relix. I think you spoke a little too soon there. And then, she took out a brand new kitchen knife and glistened in the light of the desk lamp. All I could do was stare at it in shock. My brain couldn't keep up with everything that was happening.
私
I love
あな
you.
たが
I
好
love
きだ
you so much. And I can't take it
好きすぎ
anymore.
てもう耐えられないから
Her hands gripped the knife. She must have been gripping it terribly hard, because her fingers had turned white. She pointed the blade straight at me. I started to shake my head no, so she did know I didn't think this was a good idea. But there's no making her listen now.
あなたの肉とか
Your flesh,
骨とか
your bones,
皮膚とか
your skin,
内臓とか
your organs,
脳とか
your brain,
目玉とか
your eyeballs,
もちろん
and of course,
あなたの
your
一
most
番恥ずかし
embarrassing
いところも
parts.
全
And I'm
部
going
私が食べてあげますね
to eat them all up. Alright. She laughed an insane laugh as she leapt at me. There was a dull impact, a sense of pressure, and looked down on my chest. And the blade of the knife was embedded deep within me. She let out a sweet sigh right next to my ears. The knife dug through my flesh and my bones. But I didn't feel any pain. Of course I didn't, because this was a delusion. Scary. Yandere and scary. My own delusion was scaring the shit out of me. As I stood there shaking, Yua suddenly fell backwards and landed on her butt. She was rubbing her behind, looking a little teary-eyed.
すみません
Sorry.
CD
I think I stepped on a
を踏んづけちゃ
CD.
ったみたいで
I
す
might have broken the
ケース
case.
割れたかも本当にごめんなさ
I'm
い
really sorry.
私きちんと
I'll
片
clean
付
it
けま
up.
すから
いいよ
It's okay. I just wanted her to go home. What was that request she'd asked a moment ago anyway? Yua started to pick up the trash and CDs around her feet. Even though I just told her not to, she looked so apologetic that I started to feel like I was the bad guy here. Okay. At least let me clean up enough so I can stand up.
その
Sorry.
確保
I'll
さ
tell
せて
you
く
my
ださ
request
い
after that.
すいませんその後でお願い言いますから
She seemed like a mom as she moved around, cleaning things up. Someone who didn't care about what other people thought, and just ran around doing whatever they wanted. Nosy and annoying. In a situation like this, was I supposed to be helping her? And then, as we both reached for the same piece of garbage, our hands would touch and we would gasp and gaze into each other's eyes. Wait, this wasn't a romantic comedy. No way was I going to help. Oh. In the middle of carefully piling up a bunch of magazines, her hand suddenly froze. She was turned away from me, and I couldn't see what she was holding. No. Don't worry about it. She seemed really shaken. This was suspicious. I realized that she was in a position to see everything in my room. She might want to steal in something. She might even think there were so many figures I wouldn't notice if she took one. But I would. I knew all of my wives really well. If one disappeared, I'd notice immediately. Don't touch the figures. Okay. No, that's not it. There was a bloody tomb, the Jinchi. Is that what they call it? It was lying on the ground, and I looked inside. A bloody tomb, the Jinchi. Oh, that was a naughty one. It was really incredible. I was surprised. Don't look at my stuff. I'm sorry. She quickly got back to work, and then, when she secured enough room to sit, she turned toward me. So, the request I just talked about. Here it was. I gulped as my body tensed up. Would you go reserve that figure with me? No. Huh? I've never been to an anime shop or anything like that. Wait, I know that's really forward of me. It's my fault you got hurt after all. This was dangerous. I needed to be really careful about how I responded. Sure, she and I had the same hobbies. She said she liked Sarah too, but she listened to the things I said that... Blah, 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 blah. She listened to things I said like she actually cared. For an otaku like me, she was an easy person to talk to. But this was a trap. It had to be. This kind of stuff only happened in H games, not in the real world. I couldn't let the 3D world fool me, I think. What was Yua after? I'm sorry. Forget it. The way you told me all that stuff made me really happy. She bowed to me. Most 3D girls were really bossy and arrogant. She was a rare exception. No 3D girl could possibly be this cute and kind. It was all an act. I was gonna say no. I was gonna come out and say it clearly, like a man. She looked up at me, and I could see that her eyes were damp. Was she crying? Because I didn't say anything? Had I made her cry? Please, anything but that. I'd only ever experienced anything like this in video games. My heart was pounding really fast. I even felt guilty. I'd always heard people say that girls use tears as a weapon, but only now did I realize that it was true. To be honest, I didn't know what to do. I just stood there, half stammering. I tried to say I'd go with her, but I couldn't. What if I said yes, and then the next thing she said was, "Don't take me seriously, idiot, you're creepy." I was so scared of the idea that I was struck silent. You don't have to. It's not right to drag you along with me. Her eyes were even wetter now. It felt like tears could start pouring from her eyes any second. I'll go. Huh? You'll go? I nodded, helplessly. It was the only way I could think of to get her to stop crying. The whole thing felt like a setup, but... She let out a sigh of relief and then took off her glasses to wipe away her tears.
断られて当然だ
I
と思っ
was
て
sure
た
you
の
were
に。
going to say no. Thank you,
西条
Nishijo.
くん、ありがとうございます。
She said thanks. I managed to keep her from crying at least. I got lucky, I guess. Ew, why did things have to be so stressful? You couldn't let your guard down around 30 girls for a minute, damn it.
行くとしたらいつ
If we're
がい
going
い
to
でしょう。
go, when would be a good time? Ma would see that sad expression of hers. Now she looked really happy. Maybe she was making it up the whole time. If so, she had a future as an actress.
セイラちゃんの新しいフィギュア
Sarah's new
が
figure is
もうすぐ発売
coming
なん
out
ですよ
soon,
ね。
right? Yeah.
きっとすぐ
They'll
に
probably sell
完売
it
し
really
ちゃうよ
fast.
だったら早めに行った
Then
方
we
が
should go
良さそうです
soon.
ね。明日とか
Tomorrow, maybe? According to my schedule, tomorrow was a school day. This week, I had to go 3 times. Of course, that meant next week I only went twice. Tomorrow was gonna be an even worse day than I thought. But Eva looked really excited, and if I told her I'd changed my mind now, she might cry again. Ugh, she had me in her clutches. But
分かっ
fine.
たよ
I reluctantly agreed. Eva looked happy. But she couldn't fool me, okay?
西条くんは何組？
What class are you in?
明日
I'll go there after school
合格に迎えに行きますよ。
ends.
B 組
Class B.
2年 B 組ですね。
2B, right?
じ
Okay.
ゃあ
I'll
授
see
業
you
が
after
終わ
class
ったら
then.
待っててください。
I nodded, hoping I could get her to leave. I was going somewhere with the girl. This wasn't a dream or delusion, was it? I tried punching myself. It hurt.
それじゃあ長い
Alright.
間お邪魔しちゃ
Sorry
って
for staying
すい
so
ません
long.
でした。
If your leg still hurts, go see a doctor, okay?
もし痛かったらお医者さんに行ってくださいね。
Oh, yeah. I sat on the sofa and watched her go. Just before she left, she turned and waved at me.
西条くん、
See you tomorrow, Nishijo. Thoughts.
また明日
See you tomorrow, she said.
しかも手を振ったり
And she even waved at me. I felt a grin coming on, but forced myself to stop.
あの女絶対
She was in
僕に
love
惚
with
れて
me.
る
I was sure of it.
間違いないねまあ付き合う
Well,
か付き合わ
it's
ない
up
か
to
は
me
僕
whether
の
I
選
actually
択肢
date
があ
her
る
or
わけだ
not,
し
right?
あの
I'll
女
just
を
dump
情け容
her
赦なく振ってやるさ
brutally without mercy.
お前は僕の女にふさわし
You're
くな
not
い
worthy of being my
セイラより
girlfriend.
いい女になっ
Come
て
back
出直
when
して
you're
こ
a
い
better girl than Sarah.
まあ一
I
生
bet
無
that's
理だけどな
impossible, though.
何しろ
Sarah's
セイラ
gonna
は
be
永遠
17 years
の
old
17歳だから
forever
な
after all.
みたいな
Something like that. And the girl could be better than Sarah-tan. I picked up the figure and rubbed it against my cheeks. Sarah-tan looked happy.
おっと時間か。今のところテストに出るからな。ちゃんとノート書いておけよ。今日はここまで。
Ding dong bing bong. Man, it feels like chapter 1's never gonna end. I think this is a good enough stopping point, though. I'll go ahead and save here. Yep. Yeah, it's still chapter 1. God damn. I felt like it wasn't gonna be that long for chapter 1 because, like, the prologue was literally only 12 minutes, but, you know, that's on me for having expectations that make no sense. But I think that'll do it for tonight. Cause, yeah. But yeah, it's been a time, TM. That much is for definitely a lot of questions. It's a lot. That's the best I could offer for this. I don't know. What do you guys think about Chaos Head Noah so far? You think it's pretty straightforward? Guy has delusions which will eventually make us question whether or not his reality is real or not later. That's assuming it's not making us question it now, Relix. Yeah, it is indeed a lot. And I agree with your ellipsis, Bear. That's also very understandable. Fucking chaotic, but now that it's calmed down, you're feeling the Steins Gate vibes. Yeah, that's fair. You can feel the chaos. Yeah, it's like in the title or something. Wild. yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me in Chaos Head Noah. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Okay. Bye bye, everyone.